guys, welcome to Podzilla. I'm Mykah.
And I am Jasher. This is our first ever episode of Podzilla.
Technically introduction.
Yeah, just a little introduction, just a little taster to for you to be able to see what you'll be in store for.
Yeah, a little preview of what's to come.
And to be honest, we're still figuring out how we want to do this, but all that we know is that we want to make a podcast about Godzilla.
Yeah, so we became interested in this idea a little while back. Godzilla's been a huge part of both of our lives.
In a weird way. It's weird to say that, but...
And we are brothers.
Yeah, we're
prefacing
brothers. Mykah and Jasher Drake.
So we've grown up... Godzilla's been a big part of our lives.
Yeah, like... My username on every social platform since I was tiny was Jashzilla.
Yeah, and nowadays with... It's hard to think about it in the right terms, but I know a big thing nowadays is Marvel movies and all that.
Yeah.
And back in the day, Godzilla was almost that for us.
Exactly. I mean, it's one of the first like cinematic universes, right? Creatures and kaiju jumping from one film to the other.
Yeah.
And I think it's been mainstreamed a lot recently as well. So when people think Godzilla, they just think of the big blockbuster, Americanized Godzilla, King Kong, Godzilla versus Kong. But there's a massive world to explore of all these crazy old school Godzilla movies of guys in costumes, and those are kind of I guess our big films that we watched growing up.
And not a lot of people think of that or even know about that side of
exactly.
any of the Godzilla or any of its history or anything like that when thinking about what it's like nowadays.
I know. It's crazy. So I guess what we wanted to do is kind of, I don't know, make a project or a podcast where we can kind of relive those experiences. And we're thinking for this, we would start at the very beginning, watch not just every Godzilla film in the order that it came out, but every like Godzilla adjacent film as well. So every film that might have a monster that will show up later on or might just take place relatively in the same kind of universe. Giant monsters and giant kaiju.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, there are a lot of Godzilla movies.
Tons.
Like over 50 of them.
Yeah.
Or at least over 50 set in the same world. Mm-hmm. And I know you've seen a lot of them already.
I've seen. Yeah, I've seen a few. Like growing up, our dad was the one who's got us into.
Yeah, he
Godzilla.
introduced us.
And a lot of my presents back in the day were just like a Godzilla DVD or a couple of Godzilla DVDs. So I grew up kind of just watching these in my spare time.
And because he did, I did as well.
And yeah, Mykah jumped in and watched them with me. But yeah, I guess I've seen like a lot of the old Godzilla films aren't that mainstream, but I've seen like the mainstream section of those Godzilla films, like the big releases, not the smaller, lesser known ones.
Yeah, kind of the top rated ones back in the day.
Yeah, exactly. And it's going to be crazy because this is going to be fun to take a deep dive back into because, as we said before, not a lot of people know about these Godzilla films, but they're also sectioned off weirdly into like different eras. So there's like the Millennium era, which are the newer ones, and I don't even want to try say what the other ones are. Showa, I think, are the original ones.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's gonna be cool to take.
It's gonna be fun. And just me personally, I haven't actually seen a lot of them. I've probably seen around 10 of them. But
maybe even less.
Maybe even less. But that's been like not even in the past few years. That's throughout my whole life.
Yeah.
I can't even remember half of those.
And even like the newer ones that more people have seen, Godzilla, King of the Monsters, Godzilla vs. Kong, you haven't even seen them.
I don't know why, but I've kept almost blind to those unintentionally.
Yeah.
But what I've wanted to do, and what we've wanted to do for a long time, is we've seen this whole Godzilla franchise, and we've wanted to watch all these movies.
Yeah.
But there hasn't been too much of a chance to actually be able to do that. And so this almost gives us a little bit of an excuse to relive the glory days of Godzilla.
Yeah, we're making a podcast. Let's make ourselves watch one of these movies a week or every couple of weeks or however we do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it'll be good. I'm getting like, it probably sounds weird, but just thinking about us growing up with watching these movies, our dad, who was super into them, we'll have to get him to guest star. There we go.
Yeah, we should actually.
3 Drakes. We were so into it that he made a board game for us, and we have fond memories of this like Godzilla board game that no one else knows about. That was just a custom made.
It was the best thing growing up because it was almost like a snakes and ladder type game.
But you also had monsters that would jump out that you had to fight and like.
Yeah, and he created like all this huge deck of cards with almost every Godzilla monster on.
Yeah.
And he didn't know about half of them, and we didn't know about any of them.
But we learnt about them from this homemade game that we love.
From random media. I know we also had some random action figures from like $2 stores.
and like hand puppets. I had a few Godzilla hand puppets. I remember like normal kids would get printed off like normal colouring books and normal crosswords and stuff. But my parents made me Godzilla-themed ones because I was so into it. So
yeah, it's going to be fun. And not any... Going to school, it's one of those weird things where I felt like I wasn't into it much at all. But it was a situation where I feel like no other kid in the school would have been as knowledgeable about any of this as we were.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like a whole world that only we were.
We were in our own little like bubble of nerdiness that we're still nowadays. No one else has this knowledge of all these
because everybody
things.
knows about the newest Godzilla.
Exactly. So yeah, I guess that's what we thought would be cool to kind of become more experts in this field. Kaiju.
Yeah. Go up from our noob status.
Yeah.
Reach the pinnacle heights of Godzilla nerdiness.
Yeah.
And hopefully bring you guys along with us.
Yeah, totally. So as we said, we'll try to do a movie an episode, touch on a movie, kind of look into what the story was, the kaijus that appeared, then our thoughts on it.
Yeah.
And if you guys wanted to just watch along with us, a lot of these movies are quite easy to find now as they're so old.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you wanted to watch along...
Almost turn it into like a book club.
Yeah, book club
kind of thing.
Godzilla Club.
We could watch them along together.
Yeah, totally.
And this will include a lot of the stuff like King Kong and...
Yeah, a lot of the things that connect up.
Other than Godzilla, there'll be some random movies which are set in the same universe as well.
Exactly.
And it'll seem just totally offbeat.
And I was looking at like the list of things that we were going to try and tackle. There's a couple of Godzilla ones at first, and then there's this huge like chunk that are just other movies with kaijus that are setting up like Mothra and Rodan to appear later on. So we don't really know what we're in store for, but we're going to give it a go.
We'll have fun.
And just one last thing, we're probably one of the many, I think there's another few podcasts called Podzilla. None of them are actually about Godzilla or are current, and we really like the name, so we thought we'd go with it.
Yeah.
And I guess what we're thinking makes us different is, again, we've grown up with these, and we kind of want to, I guess, revel in it a little bit more, get to know a bit more about it, and watch through the movies one by one. So a lot of other people do commentary tracks, or just do overall talking about the world.
Or very, very in-depth discussions on like the making of and stuff.
Yeah, exactly, which we don't want to do. We just want to have a light, fun discussion about each of the movies that we love.
Yeah.
So we will catch you guys on our first proper episode, tackling the first ever Godzilla movie.
It's just called Godzilla.
Godzilla.
We'll see you guys there.
See ya.
You've been listening to Podzilla with your hosts, Jasher and Mykah Drake. Be sure to follow our socials, join our Discord, and check out Cassie Celine, who did our amazing podcast art. The links are all in our show notes. And just a disclaimer that any musical sound effects used in this episode belong entirely to the Toho Company.
See you in 2 weeks.